Hello, my name is Ji. I'm studying fine arts in my university in Korea. I'm gonna talk about international couple. My class subject is English as an international language. I study English history and different kind of English and some kind of social issues about English. So I choose this subject, international couple, and I started taking this video to know how English is important and how English affects on international couples. And it was quite interesting and it was quite hard because I have never been in international couples. I have few foreign friends, but I didn't know anything about international couples. And I talked a lot with many people around the world through internet, people from everywhere, like US, English, Sri Lanka, Egypt, Thailand, Japan, Canada, and Malaysia, and some other countries. I talked a lot and I asked them how English is important to you and in international couples. And surprisingly, they said English is very, very important, which I didn't expect it, and I didn't think English is that important because I have my own language and I live in my country. I didn't need to speak English that much fluently. So it was really great time and great experience to know that. I met three international couples here, but I couldn't take their face. I mean, they didn't want to show their face because here in Korea, most people have bad, negative ideas about international couples. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but I had learned a lot from them, and I changed my thoughts. And I'm gonna show you one of my interview with Isol. Her name is Isol. She's been with her boyfriend over 4 years, and she's a great person. And I'll talk about other two international couples because the video quality was not that good. And I learned a lot, and I hope you can also learn something about that interview. I hope you enjoy it. How did you meet your partner?
It was like 5 years ago. One of my professors in my university asked me to give a tour guide to one of his friends. So I thought he's like my professor's age. But when I met him, he's like even younger than me. Yeah, he was cute. So like we had the tour in Cheonggyecheon and the National Folk Museums. So that was our first time to meet. But like after like 1 year and a half, we chatting on the Skype. Then we really been a couple, but before like was just meeting.
What kind of thing would help for better understanding each other?
To understand better each other, I think the most important thing is I need to know him or he needs to know me better. That means it's even the background, the culture, that will really help. Because without being understanding each other or each other's background, it's really difficult, and many times it make us misunderstanding even we fully communicate with English. So the most important thing is I think is need to understand each other.
Will people understand better different cultures by speaking English?
Yes, because English is the official language, non-official, the universal language right now. So English is really help whenever I travel and I meet all different friends from different culture. The language I communicate with English. So English is to help to so-called communicate, but really deep understanding each other. We need to know more. So not only about language, I think.
What have changed after being an international couple?
I don't know because I never been in Korean couple before. So, but I traveled a lot because our dating place is all different continent, like all other countries. So we traveled a lot and we experienced different culture, and then also we try to know each other's culture more. And then I need to explain myself to him, so I need to study my culture myself. So if I dating with a Korean guy, maybe I don't need to really think about my culture myself, but that gives me the international couple thing. It gives me to aim to study more about my culture.
Is using English affected on changing your identity?
I don't know what is identity, because identity is what I have and what I think is not changed. But the identity which is kind of judged or identified is by others. That means I don't know, because I don't know what others think, like what my boyfriend think or what my best Korean friend thinks. But I think it's myself. It doesn't change. Maybe I influenced by other cultures, and I think maybe broad or not different way. But my really core thing is I don't think it's changed.
What kind of advantage have you gotten after using English?
Using English, of course, I got a better job in Korea because I can speak English. And then it's very interesting because English is a very good tool, so I can communicate or I can really share and interact with people from different cultures. So as a person who are studying cultures, it's really important for me. Otherwise, without English, I never communicate without friends from other countries. So in that case, for me, English is really helpful for all my job and studies.
What are the linguistic barriers to communicate each other? Do you understand each other's slang or idioms?
Slang or idioms is also very closely related to culture, I think. So understanding, basically, I can understand English, what he said, but sometimes even in Korean, can we fully communicate each other? Sometimes even we speak Korean very well, we don't understand each other. So I think it's also the same. So with my boyfriend and me, of course we have a misunderstanding, but I think that barrier is from it's sometimes from my language skill, language limitation, but mostly it's from the culture, I think. So even he say once I messaged him, I hate you, but for me it's I don't like you. It's it's joking but he got really serious, how come you hate me? So it was a really big thing for us. So he just asked me, okay, let's have a 1 month break. Because for me it was just a little joking stuff, and he got so serious. So that means I don't understand, he doesn't understand my English, or I didn't understand his English. It's not about English. So yeah, so barriers, I think it's even among Koreans we have.
If you don't know your partner's language and your partner doesn't know your language, is using English helpful for better communication?
Oh, of course, because it's the only way we can communicate. Because my boyfriend is Russian, and I only say spasiba, that's all I know in Russian. And then now I kind of teach him Korean. It's very helpful because something he doesn't have in his culture or in his language, even in English, it's a 정 or 눈치. In other language they don't have. I don't know whole other languages, but at least their culture they don't have it. So in that case, I teach him my language, so it's much better. But of course, it's mainly because it's only one language we can communicate. Yes, of course, it's helpful.
Most international couples are struggling for a different language. What do they have to do to overcome the barriers?
Need to study language, I think. That is the basic thing. But if you for me, it's to be honest, I don't know how, if they don't communicate with the language, how can they really interact? Gestures, maybe eyesight, it's maybe can take a month or 2 months, but for 1 year or 2 years, I don't know how can they really share and interact, and then or how can we call them a couple. So I think to study language, if you really like him or if he really like you, need to study to communicate, and then they will improve your relationship much better. And then also same time you need to study yourself, and then also he need to study himself, so need to share about your cultures. Then that will help your language barrier and then all kind of barrier or conflict between the couple.
Did you enjoy the interview? I had a really great time with all the international couple I met. Um, Before I took this video, I didn't know how English was important in international couples, and actually I thought speaking English and being forced to speak English could make people feel inferior about their countries and cultures, and also to make matters worse, it could change people's identity. But as I as I saw people were using English as a tool to know different people and understand different cultures in a good way, I realized I could be wrong. And even in my case, I could widen my thoughts as I speak English, and I learned um, because I could speak English, and not even changed my identity at all. I still love my country, and I'm really proud of being Korean. So thank you for helping me. International Couple Neighbor Cafe, 국제 커플 카페 in Neighbor Cafe in Korea, and thank you all of you guys. Haeyoung, Brian, Jane, Isel, I really love you. 국제 커플 go rocks.